What's up, YouTube? I'm Zone, and I'm back with another Xbox 360 commentary video. The game for today is Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005, not the 2012 version, which, when I was looking for this game originally, I ended up picking up the 2012 version. I was like, man, that looks a little bit different, but it must be the same game. Sure enough, you boot it up and you quickly find out that it's not the same game. That's why it's worth like $2. This one, though, has gone absolutely haywire in price. I have 5 copies of this game now, 2 of the regular disc and 1 of the platinum, or 3 of the platinum ones. So I might give those away or do some of those down the line. But yeah, I got all mine from buying collections off people. Wow, that's insane, bro. Somebody bought this one for $40, bro. Ooh. Anyway, they goofed, but not to the degree I did. Or, sorry, they goofed way harder than I did. That's insane. Feel bad for them when they find out that that's not the game that they were looking for. Anyway, though, I first played this game on Nintendo DS, and let me say the DS version is quite different from the 360 version. Obviously, the 360 version is way more fleshed out. So I'll be playing this. In this video, I'll be showing just a few of the boss races as I go on. So into the game, first boss race, I was using the Golf. I went off the absolute like 15, like the lowest on the blacklist. Ended up getting the bonus reward to just take this car, so I was like, all right, that's perfect. But after that, I saved up enough and I got the old Audi A3, which I like because I have the new Audi S3, but I don't have the hatchback version. And this one sounds a lot better, so I'm kind of partial to this one. I'm gonna try to beat the game, just upgrading the A3. We'll see what happens. But enough about Need for Speed Most Wanted, because it is a 19-year-old game, so it's done. If you want to know anything about it, I'm sure it's been well enough documented that you can go find it. But something I want to talk about in this particular video, and I know it's been beaten to death over and over and over, is just the AI stuff that's coming out, bro. It's fucking crazy, man. And I mean, like, obviously, like, the high level, the stuff that people are trying to get, their investors in with, like, we use 50,000 GPUs to do this or to do that, to come up with something. And you're like, all right, but, like, how does that affect me? Well, hopefully today I'll be able to provide you with some instances of how it will affect you. Because honestly, the reason I haven't uploaded in so long is I've just been playing around with all this stuff because I think it's super cool. Like, what a time to be alive that we get to just experience all this. And I mean, I'm somebody who, in my work anyway, I try to find efficiencies and trying to basically make it easier on myself. So I don't if you do one hard thing, you should be able to take what you learned and what you applied from that hard thing you did and use that to make something else easier. If you have to do the same hard thing over and over and over, like it just doesn't make sense. So with that, the first thing I wanted to get into in this video is a tool or website called Suno, and I'll try to leave links for all of this down below. But basically, it can create just about anything. YouTube intro beats. Let's see. Just do dubstep, because I think it should have a super easy time with that. But it can create beats, full songs, pretty much anything in between, and it does it fairly quickly. If you're a free user, they give you like 50 credits, and I think each time you create something, you use 10 credits. You can create 5 things, but technically 10 because it'll make 2. I can forever do the first one. Let's try the second one.
These drums to my heart stops the beat I'm feeling. Boom and boom, I'm consumed. This love is revealing. Bass drops, my heart stops the beat I'm feeling. Boom, 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 I'm consumed. This love is revealing.
So Well, as you'll find with a lot of this AI stuff, it's not always perfect when it comes out the first time, because sometimes you have to redo it multiple times, many times, to get something you can work with. Um, which that's one thing. I will say something nice that you can take from that though is if you have experience with like mixing, mastering, like that sort of stuff, with like Ableton, uh, Fruity Loops, maybe. I don't know how relevant that is anymore. I know Adobe has one of things called Audition. If you have any experience with that, you can basically use your skills with those tools to just, kind of use some of the stuff this comes up with and flesh it out a little bit better and more kind of in line with what you're thinking than versus what the AI thinks. I think it's super cool. I've been playing around with this one a lot. And it does take some time, but I mean, I will say that the intro for this video, as well as the outro, and then a few other things are all AI musics. I mean, you can create stuff like this, like like an epic soundtracks. If you need like backing music for something you're making, this thing will probably do a very fantastic job. And that's kind of what I'm talking with, like the YouTube intro beat type stuff. Like this thing just hits the nail on the head perfectly with it. Super good. So good that if you provide it with like lyrics, because that's one thing that's kind of, I don't think it's very, obviously it's not very inspired with the lyrics. If you go to custom mode in here, you can input your own lyrics and it will make a song out of that. So with that said, I'll show a few things that I've created, and one of which is on Spotify. So here's something I created with Suno, which is pretty impressive to me. I just gave it the lyrics, and it kind of took the rest, and I just did a little bit of mastering on the back end to make sure it doesn't sound like garbage.
Sitting here jobless, feeling like my oddness. I can take solace, speaking solace with a bust quick. Lord, she was a goddess. Look, sis, I'm in bliss. Can we skip the kiss and do a Swiss? Drop it down to the abyss, sipping tris and reminisce all the gifts my sis. See the slits and do the splits. Do anything for my commits. At the rinse and fit, she sits. If I blitz, she spits too much risk. Internal conflict, my thing rips inside her lips. She grits her teeth for my release.
So that's one, which I'm super impressed with. I just gave the lyrics and it literally took it away. One of the other ones is a little bit less fleshed out, but still super impressive.
Been in my zone. Leave me alone. Gen Z bro got bands on my phone. You can hang yourself, dummy, if you don't like my tone. Riding in a stolen, my method's gold. Got papers for it, we got that type of motion. Passiano senses is an ocean. Don't have a Trojan, so I leave it broken. Load up God mode, I see the world code. Bulletproof note.
Okay, so that's about the best I've been able to come up with, but once again, super impressed. I think that's insane. So if you guys want to play around with it, leave a link to it in the description, and add me on Twitter or whatever with anything you can come up with. Twitter's zone. On to the next thing, which I think it isn't out yet, but God, it is crazy. So and that's Adobe Premiere Generative Fill. So we have this for Photoshop already, and I've used it a decent amount. And a lot of people were using it a bunch right when it came out. Basically, you highlight an area, and you can either fill it with something else, or you can fill like the outside of it with something else. But it basically comes up with whatever you type in, and it'll make if this was real and in the picture, this would be the fill part, and it just tries to come up with what it thinks should go there, which is super crazy in and of itself. But they are now attempting to do basically the same thing with Premiere, which is insane because you select an area and then you can literally replace something in a video with something completely different and generated by Photoshop, or sorry, by Adobe. So I don't know how well that's gonna go. I mean, some of the Photoshop stuff was kind of buggy and kind of weird, and I would imagine it'd be pretty similar here. But it is cool in the fact that, like, say you're filming a landscape or whatever, you have like a light post or like a pole, like you can just highlight that and just remove the pole without masking or without doing anything else. So something that would take you probably, it would take me half a day for sure to mask out like a pole, because I'm not, I can figure out how to do it. There's YouTube videos for everything. I'm sure all you guys are capable as well, but it's just the fact that it takes all of that and it just trims it completely down, and you now no longer have to use those skills anymore, really, other than maybe just cleaning up a little bit. So I think that's pretty insane. In addition to like masking, if you have a clip and you're like, ah, shoot, that was 5 seconds, I really needed it to be like 8. You can use this to expand, and it will literally generate more clip for you. Kind of based on the same thing, what it thinks should come next. So all of that is absolutely insane to me. I'm sure there's other stuff in here, and if you guys want to read it, it's on the Adobe page. But those things are like some of the really heavy hitter, high level, like, whoa, this is really going to change a lot of stuff, especially in this space. Speaking of YouTube specifically, I would expect to start seeing a lot more of this right around when this drops, which I figure it will be entering like the Adobe beta area soon, and then it'll be in a full release probably later in the year. So definitely look out for that. And then the last one I want to say for last, just because I find it to be kind of complex to the average person, but what it does is very insane, and it's this thing right here. You can watch the video, or you can go to the website if you want to. I'll summarize it the best I can. And essentially, it allows you to take your computer and yourself and put a large language model in between it. So kind of how similar to how you use like Siri or Alexa, and you can type to it as well. You basically use that as an interface, and you're like, wow, like we already have those type of things, so like why is this better? Essentially, what sets it apart with like Siri and Alexa is that not only can you kind of script things, or like I do this or whatever, which like something I would use it for. So I buy a lot of random crap off like Marketplace. Kind of depends, but basically what you could do is you could script it so that if you're looking for something in specific, and even if it's not by the name you're looking for, so keep it on par, like I'm searching for like Xbox 360 games, right? So let's say somebody just puts games or whatever, there's pictures, and it has a game that you need, like it would be able to isolate the name off of the spine or off of the face of the game. And basically, you could have it set to like message somebody like, "Hey, I would like to buy blah 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 blah. If you sell it, then like, when can you meet up?" And it can do all that for you. But that's not even the cool part. The cool part is that it learns and can do compound processes on top of that. So you can abstract away what you're trying to do. Because one of my biggest gripes with like ChatGPT and those sort of things is that it's all kind of isolated. If you wanted to do something the same way it did it the last time, you have to give it the same prompting for it to do that. But with this, once it does it one time, it learns, and you don't have to prompt it the same way again. You can just say like, all right, look for games, and it'll just go find games the same way that you specifically instructed it to find the specific games you're looking for, and message and reach out to those people. So the way you can abstract on top of things and just kind of let it automate a lot of things for you is really crazy. And that's one of the things I'm most excited for. But this is one of the ones I have the least time to play around with yet, just because I'm not personally as comfortable with the shell and kind of setting all of this up. If anybody is, like to reach out, hit me up. I'll give you my Discord. We can figure it out. But otherwise, that's all I got for this video. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully this gave you some inspiration to try some new things and kind of look into this, because like I said, it's wild how the development has sped up. So hope y'all have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.